Okay, they are going up. Yeah, when we started, we were looking at about 9 participants, and the numbers are going up. We're at number 135. But before we get into the into the webinar, colleagues, just 2 important announcements that I thought that I should make. Number one, it is the Edith Lucy Bongo Odimba Award. It's a prestigious honor that is recognizing innovation and progress in research, only for young African female researchers. And for more information, that will also be shared and given on the screen, and links that people may want to for further information. The colleagues sitting at the Society for AIDS in Africa Secretariat Office. The other one is the ICASA 2025 Storytelling Video Competition. Are you interested in fighting stigma? And then here's an opportunity for you to share your story, inspire change, and win up to $3,000 for first prize and $2,000 for second prize. Who can enter into the competition? People who are living with HIV, category A, ages between 18 to 35, category B, that is 36 years and above, and then from Africa or the diaspora. The submission deadline is 31st July. And what to submit a 4-minute video sharing your personal HIV journey, include English and French captions, submitted in MP4 or MOV format. Again, details will be shared for further information. So colleagues, just thought we should share that. Please spread the fire, spread the word for those who need to, who may be interested and who need to participate in this. Now, as we get into the webinar, it's a pleasure on my side to be able to introduce the 2 panelists that are going to be with us for this session. The first one is Professor Morenike Ogupong, the current treasurer of the Society for AIDS in Africa. She's a seasoned expert in gender mainstreaming, adolescent and key population programming, and HIV prevention research. With over 20 years of experience, she has contributed to more than 60 technical reports and played key roles in shaping national, regional, and international health strategies, including Global Fund projects, a leading researcher at Obafemi Awolowo University. She's ranked amongst the world's top 2% scientists in 2021. Professor Ogupong has held several leadership roles in major HIV conferences and coalitions, including ICASA and the International AIDS Society, and served in global research ethics governance, notably the CIOMS working group. She also led the new HIV vaccine and microbicide advocacy society for 16 years, and is she's active in civil society coalitions, advancing ethical HIV research, domestic resource mobilization in Africa. So over to you, Professor Morenike, for your remarks, and then we'll introduce Professor Sen later afterwards, and then he will also take the floor. Over to you, Professor Morenike. Welcome, colleagues, again to our webinar, and all the best.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for those nice words. It was nice listening to myself through your lens. It's something I likely adopt. I don't know if it's possible for me to just do a brief recap of what we've done. I don't know if that works for us, and so as to bring us up to speed. But this is majorly to enable us once again be able to ask questions. It's not just because of ICASA, but we are very much focused on building African capacity to do quality research and contribute to the global engagement. You do know that some time back, we talked about the content of the abstract, what to do when drafting abstract, what are the common flaws and how to conclude. Once again, our abstract is a summary of the project that you have done. It's about addressing the purpose of the study, the basic design of the study. You report the major finding and briefly share with us an interpretation in the content. It's usually about 15 to 500 words, and 150 to 500 words. ICASA is truly very generous with the number of words. And when you look at it, you should be able to tell us, why did you do the study? What did you do and how? What did you find? And what the findings are. Once again, abstracts are very important. You would briefly share with us, this is ICASA's format, a background that has only 2 issues, what the problem is and the objective, the methodology that we look forward to 6 content, study design, the study population, period when the data was collected, the outcome and dependent variables, and your statistical analysis. We want you to focus on your results, which includes specific data that addresses the objective. And then you conclude by telling us the answer of the objective and the implication of the work. Once again, very briefly, your abstract contains the background 2 sentences, the first highlighting the gap and the second telling us what the study objective is. The objective, whatever it is, should be SMART. It's specific, measurable, achievable, with time bound, okay? And appropriate study design. Your method is about 6 things: opening a sentence with what the study design is, the target population, the study location, the date when you collected the data, because context is relevant. We want to see your study variables. We also want to see the study analysis tool. Maybe it's chi-square or t-square, whatever it is. Ensure it is comprehensive. The result you want to know, especially if you're biomedical in focus, the sample size, the description of the variables, the inferential analysis, tell us, including the figures, and ensure that the result answers the objective. If you are doing qualitative studies, whether it is reporting on the lessons learned or whether it is qualitative studies that you did by whatever means you collected the data, we would be expecting at the results day that you tell us what you found, highlighting the themes, because that is the way you've done data analysis. It's not just telling a story. You analyzed, you got the teams, you got the sub-teams, and these are the content of the teams and sub-teams. These are the kind of things we'll be looking. And of course, you conclude with 2 statements, the answer to the study objective and the recommendation coming from the study objective. Please, once again, when you're drafting the manuscript, the abstract, don't do it as a last-minute thing. Don't do it as a last-minute thing, because it is very important you look over it, you ensure that your ideas are properly communicated, the results and study objectives and the conclusions are all derived from the results. And please note that the abstract will be read by the reviewers, and they have to know what is in your mind, so they ensure that what you're sharing is complete. Summarize as much as possible. Make sure every sentence matters. Once again, don't spend time writing major background, spend time on the methodology and the result. Emphasize the different points of studies in the abstract, and do not refer for information that cannot be found. Don't tell us you're going to do the study in future. It will not go. Share with us abstracts of what you have done. This is what it's about. Common flaws that we found with this abstracts coming many times from the abstract we see at ICASA, but please note that it's very competitive now, very competitive. At the last at ICASA, even those that scored 4 out of 5, 4 out of 6 went to, they didn't get oral presentation. So it's quite competitive. So you have to come into the space competing well. Avoid the flaws that we want to share. One of the things is that we see that they do not contain quantitative results. If you did a quantitative study, put the results. Don't say, oh, more people, plenty people, the most people. Put it. Let us see it. 52.5, 73.2. Let us see the figures. If it's qualitative, once again, report as teams. This is not the place to tell stories anyhow. Report the teams that you highlighted. Okay. Conference committees will be ready to read and judge. And it will be, and they would only judge well in a way that they will put to the manuscripts that are most important to this for the conference out. The best foot is what we're going to put out. Once again, do not write things like, we will present the result of the finding. There's no other place to do it than in the abstract. The second major flaw is always the conclusion, where you're concluding around things that is not answering the study objective, or you're making a recommendation that is not speaking to the objective. This is usually a problem. Do not refer extensively to other works. This is not the reference field. When you have the opportunity to present, you can then do that kind of dialogue. Do not add information that is not original. Do not define terms in the abstract, and do not include data in the results sections that does not address the objective. Do not conclude using information that you cannot garnish from the results section. Finally, please know that English is not the native language of most Africans, so please read over and over. We want good English. We appreciate there might be flaws, but there are AI tools that can help you edit. Use them. Use those AI tools. Don't let English be a distraction of the beautiful, excellent stories you want to share with us, and reduce the risk, and thereby reducing the risk of your abstracts being rejected. This is not a place where idea is need syndrome. Share the idea and don't let us start to guess what the idea is. In conclusion, please know that we're looking for top abstracts. And yours is definitely one of those you want. Write it well so that it can get the top scores. Top scores increase the opportunity of your manuscript staying in that space to be presented. We look forward to seeing you and reading your abstract. Public engagement through abstract presentation at conferences is very powerful also for your career, because when people listen to your abstract, they would want to get in touch with you physically at the conference site or even online, so that they can continue long after that. Many people's career has been changed and moved. I had just been at ICASA, and we want you also to tell us that story. So please invest the time in making your work exceptional. And you are here once again to listen to your questions. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to answering questions. Over.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Professor Morenike, and more so because, you know, you have done it below the 15 minutes time that we had allocated, which is quite great. And I hope you can convert and use some of that time for questions and answers. But before I proceed to introduce Professor Seni, I see there are comments that are coming through. Belinda from Malawi, and then Vivuya, I think Sivahera, they're asking if slides will be available. I'm not, and the other question is in French. Professor Seni or colleagues may be able to help us with that question from Dr. Jean Baptista. I think he's just introducing himself, saying that he's coming from CNLS Burundi, CNLS Burundi. And so is Dr.
He says just hello. He says just hello to everybody.
Merci, Dr. Jean Baptista. Merci. Okay, so that is fine. Thank you very much for that. So then, colleagues, I'm going to then introduce Professor Seni. That is our, you know, our presenter in French, or the very same message that has been presented by Professor Morenike, short, crispy, and to the point. Then we'll use the rest of the remainder of the time for discussion. And for those who are asking for slides, I'm not too sure whether people are not in the room or because they don't want to participate and listen, they rather do it later on. But I will hasten not to answer that question now. We'll answer it at the end, whether we are going to make slides available, because we'd like you to partake and to participate in person where you can, and be able to actively make this webinar what it should be by being present and participating. So, colleagues, I will then introduce our second speaker for the French version of it, Professor Seni Kounda. He's a medical epidemiologist, a research director, head of the public health department at the Institute of Research and Sciences at IRSS, and a professor of epidemiology, then the deputy director at the Institute Africana Santé Publique, ISP, based in Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso. He's also head of the HIV and AIDS and Reproductive Health Unit. He holds a doctorate in medicine from the University of Ouagadougou, a master's degree, and a DEA in public health from the University of, Libre de Bruxelles, a master's degree in social science, and then a PhD in medical sciences as well, and then a certificate in program evaluation from Carleton University in Ottawa in Canada. He has over 20 years research experience and has led more than 20 research projects, notably on HIV and AIDS and reproductive health, nutrition and health systems, with funding from various donors that include the World Bank, Global Fund, WHO, USAID, UNFPA, European Union, the Burkina Faso Ministry of Health. Teaching disciplines include epidemiology, research methodology, monitoring and evaluation, scientific writing, and health research ethics. I will end it here. I could have gone on. It's a much longer biography, but for the sake of time, I will let Professor Seni take over, and then over to you, Professor Seni. Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much, Dr. Muya. Sorry, can you share my presentation?
Colleagues at the Society for AIDS in Africa, who's helping with the slides, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Donc, je suis le second orateur, alors qui va donc vous présenter quelques slides. Moi, j'ai juste fait quelques slides parce qu'on avait déjà fait une première présentation de comment écrire un abstract. Et là, ce que je voulais, c'est me focaliser sur des points précis. Et après ça, je suis disponible pour répondre aux questions. Donc, ma présentation sera courte. Elle ne sera pas du tout une répétition de ce qu'on a déjà fait la dernière fois sur comment donc écrire un article. Donc, moi, mon objectif, c'est de vous guider pour que vous évitez certaines erreurs. Abstract. Alors, je voudrais vous rappeler quelque chose. On fait les abstracts pour avoir l'opportunité de communiquer avec la communauté scientifique. Et dans le cadre d'espèces, pour ce qui concerne ICASA, ça va même au-delà de la communauté scientifique. Parce qu'il y a un côté scientifique, il y a un côté communautaire. Donc, à ICASA, le public qui vient, c'est un public qui est composé donc de scientifiques et de communautaires. Donc, vous voulez communiquer vos résultats de recherche à cette communauté. Vous voulez communiquer des résultats, des politiques que vous voulez mettre en œuvre à cette communauté. Donc, c'est extrêmement important de rappeler cela. Et pour pouvoir communiquer, avoir la chance de communiquer avec ce public-là, vous devez écrire des résumés. Et ce résumé-là va permettre au comité de sélection de vous choisir. Et quand le comité de sélection vous a choisi, en ce moment, c'est comme une autorisation qu'on vous donne maintenant de venir maintenant communiquer. Donc, il y a un obstacle que vous devez dépasser. Cet obstacle-là, c'est le comité de sélection. Parce que ce que ICASA fait et ce que toute bonne conférence doit faire, c'est ça. C'est quand vous soumettez votre résumé, on envoie les résumés à des experts qui connaissent le sujet, qui vont évaluer votre travail et vont décider que votre travail est suffisamment de qualité pour pouvoir être porté donc, à la connaissance de la communauté. Donc, c'est ça qu'il faut regarder. C'est très, très important. Donc, je rappelle ça parce qu'il faut que vous compreniez exactement pourquoi on insiste là-dessus. Alors, cela suppose que vous devez écrire le résumé et le soumettre au comité de sélection. Pour ICASA, ça se fait sur la plateforme de ICASA. Ça veut dire aussi que l'ASA a lancé un appel à communication. Donc, l'appel à communication, il y a un thème sur l'appel à communication et il y a des sous-thèmes sur l'appel à communication. Donc, ce qui est important pour vous, c'est que c'est une réponse à l'appel à communication que vous allez faire. Il faut regarder que le sujet sur lequel vous allez élaborer votre abstract là, est-ce que c'est un sujet qui est pertinent? Est-ce que c'est un sujet qui est original? S'il est pertinent, est-ce qu'il est original? Parce que c'est ça. Si vous parlez d'autres choses qui n'ont pas de lien avec ce que ICASA fait, même si c'est original, il n'est pas pertinent pour la conférence ICASA. Donc, c'est important donc de regarder très bien cela. Et après avoir regardé cela, il faut rédiger le résumé. Pour rédiger le résumé, il faut donner les points principaux de ce que vous allez présenter. Ça, c'est très important. Voilà. Donc, je vais faire un travail, c'est sur, par exemple, l'information du statut VIH pour les adolescents. Qu'est-ce que je vais dire là-dessus? Je peux élaborer rapidement les points essentiels. Qu'est-ce que je vais faire paraître? Ce qui est intéressant, important, c'est de voir quel est d'abord mon message clé. Je veux montrer à la communauté scientifique qu'on a des difficultés pour l'annonce des résultats aux adolescents. Donc ça peut être mon message clé. C'est ça que je veux faire passer. Pour faire ça, voilà comment je vais jouer, etc. Je vais dire ceci, point 1, point 2, point 3, en termes d'introduction, en termes de méthodologie, en termes de résultats. Parce que votre objectif, c'est clairement, le but de la rédaction de la STAR, c'est vous décrire clairement votre travail ou votre recherche et énoncer clairement les objectifs. Vous avez fait un travail qui est très grand, une vaste étude, mais vous ne pouvez pas faire tout ça en un seul abstract. Ça veut dire que vous devez pouvoir scinder ça en plusieurs abstracts. Parce que quand vous avez beaucoup de messages, vous avez fait un travail sur les adolescents et le VIH, il y a beaucoup donc d'objectifs. Vous ne pouvez pas les faire passer à un seul abstract. Donc, vous allez dire, point 1, je vais faire l'annonce du statut sérologique. Point 2, etc., l'adhérence au traitement. Point 3, ainsi de suite, etc. Donc, vous devriez à chacun des objectifs spécifiques et faire un abstract. Parce qu'il faut savoir qu'on a un nombre de mots limité. Je crois que si ma mémoire est bonne, c'est 500 mots pour ICASA. Donc, c'est très important. Vous avez 500 mots pour décrire et amener le public et les scientifiques à décider que votre travail est bon. Est-ce que vous comprenez? On vous dit, votre travail que vous voulez vous présenter là, vous avez un temps limité pour nous le présenter. Vous avez un temps limité pour nous démontrer que votre travail mérite d'être présenté, pour nous démontrer que votre travail est très bien. Donc, ça suppose que vous devez vraiment être précis, concis. Et vous posez toujours la question, est-ce que ce que vous avez, tel ou tel renseignement que vous avez donné là, est-ce que c'est nécessaire? Ça, c'est un élément très important. Les francophones là, j'insiste là-dessus, ils ont un problème. Ils aiment parler des choses. Est-ce que vous allez à une conférence ICASA? Est-ce que vous avez besoin encore de dire le VIH est un problème majeur de santé publique? Vous avez perdu quelques mots. Les mots sont limités. On sait déjà qu'ils sont un problème de santé publique. Allez-y droit au but. Voilà. Et pensez au public auquel vous vous adressez. Ce sont des gens qui connaissent votre travail. Ce sont des experts. Ils connaissent le travail. Voilà. Donc, pour résumer, écrire le résumé, vous avez l'introduction. Voilà. Ce qui est important dans l'introduction, c'est effectivement l'ampleur du problème. Quand je dis ampleur du problème, vous n'allez pas revenir dire le VIH est un problème de santé publique. Non, ce n'est pas ça. Si vous voulez travailler, donc je me suis trompé, hein, ce n'est même pas 500 mots, c'est 350 mots. Voilà, le nombre limite de mots. Généralement, c'est 300 à 500 mots. ICASA fait 350 mots. C'est déjà beaucoup même. Les 350 mots, vous devez résumer tout un travail qui a été fait. Donc, ça veut dire que vous devez être précis. Donc, vous n'avez pas besoin de dire le VIH est un problème majeur de santé publique. En Afrique, on attend des millions. Dans le monde, on attend des millions de cas de VIH. En Afrique, l'Afrique, c'est 90% des cas de VIH, ainsi de suite. Non. Si vous allez commencer par dire tout ça là, ce n'est pas possible. Vous n'avez que 350 mots. Ça va même déjà prendre les 350 mots. Si je travaille sur les adolescents, je vais dire que on a un problème du VIH, l'annonce du VIH chez les adolescents. Voilà. Donc, il n'y a pas eu beaucoup d'études là-dessus. Donc, nous avons fait ce travail, etc. L'objectif de ma communication, c'est de, etc. Donc, de façon précise, quel est l'objectif donc de votre communication? Ensuite, vous allez à la méthodologie. J'ai fait mon travail en Côte d'Ivoire. Donc, j'ai dit, cette étude a été réalisée en Côte d'Ivoire. Vous n'avez pas besoin de dire, ça a été réalisé en Côte d'Ivoire, pays de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, etc., ainsi de suite. Non, vous n'avez pas le temps pour ça. Voilà. Donc, vous avez fait une étude de cohorte prospective. En ce moment, dit, j'ai fait une étude de cohorte prospective au sein des adolescents, etc. La taille de l'échantillon était de temps en temps, etc. Ils ont été suivis pendant tant d'années, etc., tous les 3 mois. Voilà. Vous dites combien vous avez collecté les données. Les analyses statistiques qui ont été faites sont des analyses, on a fait des régressions logistiques, etc. Le P de signification était de 5%. Donc, vous allez tout droit au but pour la méthodologie. Vous n'avez pas besoin de faire autre chose, etc. Vous n'avez pas besoin de dire, nous avons recruté 120 enquêteurs pour faire quoi. Non, vous n'avez pas d'espace. Vous n'avez que 350 mots. On est précis, on est concis. Ensuite, vous avez les résultats. L'échantillon, notre cohorte, par exemple, nous avons pu collecter, nous avons pu donc suivre 3000 adolescents pendant 12 ans. Ça, c'est bon. Et puis maintenant, en fonction de vos objectifs, maintenant, vous allez dire que voilà, le taux d'adhésion donc aux choses, au traitement, le taux d'adhésion au traitement antirétroviral était de temps, etc. Les facteurs donc qui étaient associés à ce traitement, à cette adhésion, à cette adhérence au traitement étaient les suivants, ainsi de suite, etc. Donc, vous voyez, et puis maintenant, vous avez la discussion. Quelle est la signification de vos résultats? Quelles sont les implications en termes cliniques, en termes de santé publique au niveau social, etc., vous allez dire oui, j'ai trouvé un taux d'adhésion qui est très élevé, pas élevé, ce qui va entraîner des résistances, etc. Nous suggérons donc que renforcer ceci ou cela, etc. Et puis vous avez fini. Après, il faut revenir sur le titre. Le titre, c'est un élément très important. Il faut que le titre soit accrocheur. Les francophones, généralement, ne savent pas écrire les titres, etc. Ça, c'est un défaut. Ils vont te faire un titre, tu ne comprends même pas le titre, etc. Et donc, ça n'incite pas les experts à lire. Voilà. Donc, il faut faire un titre qui vraiment reflète le travail que vous voulez présenter et qui est vraiment précis et concis. Voilà. Et vous n'allez pas faire le travail à Ouagadougou et puis aller parler, dire que vous avez fait le travail au Burkina Faso. Vous avez fait le travail à Ouagadougou, donc vous dites à Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. Ça, c'est important à dire. Il faut être précis. Slide. Slide. Alors, les problèmes courants qu'on a. Bon, il y en a qui font de la recherche avec une méthodologie qui n'est pas rigoureuse. Je suis désolé, vous ne pouvez pas rattraper. Si c'est bancal là, votre travail là n'est pas été bien fait là. Même si vous faites des contorsions, les experts vont retrouver ça. Parce que ce sont des experts, donc ils connaissent le domaine. Si vous n'êtes pas précis aussi, ils vont trouver que vous n'êtes pas précis, donc vous ne serez pas bien noté. Donc ça aussi, c'est quelque chose que vous devez savoir. L'autre chose aussi, c'est que il faut absolument lire les recommandations donc de la conférence. ICASA a les recommandations. Il faut aller les lire. Si vous ne lisez pas, vous pouvez faire des erreurs de forme ou des erreurs dans le choix de votre sous-thème, etc. S'il vous plaît, lisez les recommandations. Prenez le temps de les lire. Voilà. Et puis, vous pouvez pas, ce qui est courant, quand moi je révise, c'est les objectifs. Généralement, il y a quelqu'un qui te fait une introduction, il n'y a même pas d'objectif. S'il n'y a pas d'objectif, ben, tout ce que vous allez présenter par la suite, on ne sait pas évaluer. Donc, vous serez mal noté. Voilà. Et ce qu'on observe aussi, il y a une absence de clarté dans votre méthodologie. Il faut que la méthodologie soit, bien que ça soit en quelques mots, vous devez être clair dans la méthodologie. Si vous avez fait une étude de prévalence, vous dites, nous avons fait une étude de prévalence auprès des personnes travailleuses du sexe, etc., dans la ville de Bobo-Dioulasso, etc. Voilà, la taille de l'échantillon était de temps, nous avons fait un échantillonnage en grappe, ainsi de suite. Ça, les experts le savent. Ensuite, pour le volet résultat, il y en a qui prennent des résultats qui n'ont pas de lien avec leurs objectifs. Voilà, qu'est-ce que vous voulez qu'on dise? Si vous avez fait le show, etc., qui n'a rien de show, etc. Et puis enfin, le dernier truc, j'ai mis discussion, c'est pas discussion, c'est conclusion plutôt. Parce qu'on n'a pas le temps de faire une discussion quand on fait l'abstract. C'est conclusion. Excusez-moi, c'est en écrivant que je n'ai pas fait attention. C'est la conclusion. En général, donc la conclusion est trop générale, alors que la conclusion doit être précise. Voilà. Donc je reprends. Il faut revenir en arrière là, sur le slide passé, s'il vous plaît. Back to the slide là. Yeah. Donc, j'ai mis discussion. Je n'ai pas prêté attention. Ce n'est pas discussion, c'est conclusion, s'il vous plaît. Corrigez-moi cette erreur-là pour ceux qui suivent. C'est conclusion. Donc, on a l'introduction, la méthodologie, les résultats et donc la conclusion. Voilà. Et puis, on a donc la conclusion. Il faut que la conclusion soit précise. Si elle est trop générale, on ne peut pas tirer grand-chose donc, de cette conclusion. Donc, voilà ce que je voulais dire par rapport à ça. Et j'attends donc les questions pour y répondre. Je vous remercie. À vous la parole. Dr. Mouya, over to you.
Thank you, Professor Zeni. My poor French, I was trying to Google quickly to understand what you were saying there, but I couldn't. I didn't know how to spell it. Anyway, thank you very much, Professor Seni, for that. Colleagues, I see the participants. Yes, we're increasing. I think we started off around 9, rose to 362. The highest that I saw was still 435, and we are now at 432. So the meeting room, I'm sure it is full. Colleagues, I've seen a number of questions that have been posted in the chat, and I shall read some of these, but we shall also encourage you to speak if you can. just so that we can get to hear you, and then you'll be able to express whatever questions that you may have for us and also for the colleagues at the Society for AIDS in Africa, the Secretariat for ICASA, of course, will be able to answer some of the specific questions that you may be raising. I will answer some of those that I am able to. There are those who are asking about the word limit for abstracts is 350 words, not 500 words. 350 words is the abstract word limit. Then there are those who are asking for examples of quality abstracts. So these are issues that you can also even be able to handle with your, with your mentor, as because people are going to be writing on different subjects and approaching it from different disciplines as well. Then, of course, I've seen a number of French comments, which I shall ask if Professor Seni may help us. Once I'm done with this, I'm answering the ones I could see and be able to respond to in English. We have noted introductions by the very many colleagues in the room, people from Uganda, South Africa, Nigeria, Botswana, Malawi, Mali, DRC, Burkina Faso, and others. We see you, we appreciate you, and welcome. Of course, there are also those who are giving appreciation, the likes of Justin, I think, Norfe, appreciating the presentation there by Professor Morenike. And then there's a question around the use of artificial intelligence for writing and editing abstracts. May I pose that question to you, Professor Morenike, and Professor Sen will give the French aspect of it. Then before we go to Professor Seni to answer any French questions that are posted in the chat. Over to you, Professor Morenike.
Thank you very much. I think you asked a very important question about the use of AI to manage abstract. Yes, you can use AI to edit, and I repeat, you can. It's appropriate and welcoming to use AI to edit because it improves the quality of the English and the writing. But you cannot use AI to write, and because once you use AI to write, what is not from you per se, generate and write up an abstract, because AI can do that, then that will become falsehood. But otherwise, you should have done the work, written your abstract, but then use the AI to rephrase so that the English is correct, check the spelling. Even when you do Grammarly, it's AI, you can use that. But once again, it's unethical for you to generate completely an abstract using AI. Thank you, over.
All right, thank you, Professor Morenike. I see comments are still coming through. We'll be addressing some of those. And there's one unbelievable question there. Where will the conference take place? That one I will not answer. I will let you research and find out. And let's see what will come at the end. Professor Seni, could you help us with some of the French questions, but also to summarize what Professor Morenike said regarding AI for the sake of our French-speaking colleagues? Over to you, Professor Seni. I think you're muted.
Okay, thank you so much. Ok, pour la plupart des questions, je crois qu'il y a beaucoup de questions où on demande de partager donc les présentations. Most of question is related sharing of our presentation to participants of this webinar. So I'll let Luke respond to this question. Alors, la question sur les abstracts communautaires. Bon, des abstracts de politique, en fait, politique ou show communautaire. Donc, dans la proposition de ICASA, il y a un format pour ça. Je n'ai pas effectivement fait cas de ça, mais ça ne se présente plus comme introduction, méthodologie, résultat et puis conclusion. Mais c'est plutôt une introduction et puis la description du problème et puis les leçons apprises et la conclusion. Donc, c'est ça, en fait, les différents éléments pour cet abstract-là. Mais si tu rentres sur le site de ICASA, tu vas voir ça, effectivement. Voilà. Mais c'est le même principe, hein. Ça veut dire que c'est un problème, c'est quelque chose d'original que tu veux partager. Et donc, tu dois décrire ça. Voilà. Donc, c'était ça comme question. Il y en a qui demandent si c'est enregistré et si on peut avoir effectivement les résumés. même les techniques de rédaction des résumés. Donc, Luc, je pense que tu pourras partager, à mon avis, les présentations passées et cette présentation-là. Et puis, il y a une question sur le sujet correspond à l'objectif de ICASA. Oui, il faut juste regarder l'appel à ICASA et vous allez voir les thèmes, les sous-thèmes et puis les tracts, les différents tracts A, B, C, D, E. Et puis, il faut s'intéresser à ça en fait. Alors, comment savoir que vous avez un titre? Non, le titre, votre travail doit être pertinent, original. Maintenant, le titre là doit être intéressant pour le lecteur. Voilà. Donc, comment savoir faire en sorte que le titre soit chose? Bon, ça dit que euh, c'est aussi ça l'expérience. Et c'est pour ça aussi qu'on vous donne le show, etc. Donc, par exemple, si vous avez fait un traitement, si vous avez fait si c'est l'adhérence au traitement, bon, le titre peut être effectivement l'adhérence au traitement parmi les adolescentes, etc., à Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, par exemple. Ça, c'est bien chaud, etc. Ou bien alors, vous pouvez le faire sous forme en question, quel est le taux d'adhérence, ou bien le... Voilà. Donc, mais il faut être précis. Les titres du genre aspect épidémiologique, clinique, évolutif, machin, etc., de la maladie, ainsi de suite. Bon, ça, c'est long, c'est pas attrayant, c'est pas bon, ça. Vous voyez? Voilà. Et à ce niveau, les anglophones ont une longueur d'avance. Vraiment, ils ont une capacité de synthèse avec de jolis mots qui sont souvent plus attrayants. Alors, il y a quelqu'un qui demande, est-ce qu'il y a un modèle qui a tenu compte de nos conseils? On peut penser raisonnablement que ceux qui ont des abstracts déjà acceptés, ce sont des bons modèles. Donc, et ceux qui vont soutenir, et ceux qui vont présenter ces acceptés, c'est qu'ils ont suivi en fait nos conseils. Voilà. Donc, voilà. Et il y a quelqu'un qui a demandé si on peut faire un travail déjà présenté dans une autre conférence. Non. C'est pour ça qu'on a dit travail original. Ça veut dire travail nouveau. Vous n'allez pas vous promener avec le même travail de conférence en conférence. Ce ne serait pas correct. Voilà. Donc, je pense que c'est ça. Euh, alors, s'il vous plaît, pour une activité en cours, peut-on proposer un abstract? Oui. Si vous avez déjà des résultats. Si vous n'avez pas de résultats, ça, c'est difficile. Il faut trouver un autre aspect du problème. Sinon, ce n'est pas possible. Si vous n'avez pas de résultats, c'est que peut-être que vous allez parler un peu de certaines choses. Voilà. Mais pas de cela. OK. To summarize in English, I think most of question is related to share the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation to all of the participants of this webinar. We have some question related to the title, but as that I'm saying that most of Anglophone speaking, English-speaking people, they are kind, they are very professional. They have a lot. When I'm reading most of abstract, it is a very interesting title, you know, attractive title. We have this kind of capacity compared to Francophone speaking people. That I am saying about it. And also, so question related, okay, we have one question from Marie Agnes. She want to know if she can share the summary, share abstract before submitted to the conference. So I think we have a mentorship program. I don't know if... donc, normalement, on a un mentorship program. Si vous avez raté ça, I don't know if there is another opportunity. Perhaps Dr. Mouya or Dr. Luke can respond to this question. For policy or community abstract, yeah, we have another format. And so we have introduction, description of the project, the policy, and also lesson and conclusion. And we have this format on the website of ICASA, and you can check it.
You're speaking French. You're speaking French, Prof. Let's speak in English.
Yeah. Because he's asked me to do some. Okay. Okay. Do some summary for people who are speaking English. Yeah. So later it is related. Donc la dernière question, c'est l'intelligence artificielle. Alors l'intelligence artificielle, on peut l'exploiter, mais il faut faire attention. Il ne faut pas laisser l'intelligence artificielle écrire à votre place. Voilà, mais vous pouvez l'exploiter à partir du moment où vous avez fait votre résumé. Vous pouvez effectivement l'exploiter dans le sens de vérifier certaines choses, dans le sens d'améliorer votre travail, mais vous n'allez pas laisser l'intelligence artificielle écrire donc le texte donc pour vous. Si vous le faites, de toute façon, on le sait, hein, quand c'est l'intelligence artificielle, on le sait automatiquement. En tout cas, moi, quand je lis quelque chose qui est fait par l'intelligence artificielle, je le sais. Mais vous pouvez vous aider de ça pour effectivement améliorer donc votre abstract. I think there is some question to Luke or Dr. Muya. Over to you.
Thank you, Professor Seni. The colleagues said the Society for AIDS in Africa. Luke and colleagues, please could you come in on some of the issues that may need responses from your side?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me first of all congratulate once again Professor Morenike and Professor Seni. We have the gurus in-house. You know, we have been unfolding this program since last year. And if you go to our website, we see all the presentations from Professor Seni and from Professor Morenike that we have done over the years. We have more than 6 presentations on abstract writing on the ICASA website. And this presentation also, as a summary of all our webinar, will be also posted on ICASA website, on SAR website, and also will be sent to all the participants of this session. Saying that, as you have said, the word of ICASA is just 350 words. We don't change it. It's always like that, you know. And as Professor is saying also, Professor Seni said, for joining the mentorship program, I believe that is a bit late now because we are soon closing the call for abstracts. However, we open a mentorship program for at least 2 or 3 months for people to join that program, and we have a lot of mentors over there that review their abstracts, you know. But we get few people, maybe the information did not go on very well, but we believe that it will be a ritual at SAR now. We continue, even we don't have ICASA, we continue the mentorship program, you know, for other conferences and also for SAR, for ICASA, for the next ICASA, not ICASA 2025, but ICASA 2027. I think that this is what I wanted to say so far, and over to you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for Professor Seni. Professor Seni is helping us with both English and French at times, and I think some of it becomes difficult to necessarily allow to, you know. But nonetheless, colleagues, I've seen there's a number of questions that have been posed. Some of them, I think they were to do with where will the ICASA conference take place. I'm just not too sure where colleagues are not aware of this. And please visit the ICASA and Society for AIDS in Africa website. I want to encourage you. It's happening in Accra, in Ghana, but I think some of this information you should be able to find out. Then there's a number of comments that are being raised. Colleagues, before you put up your comments, read the comments from others as well. Some of these questions that are being raised have been answered, and they're just being repeated. And so please visit and see. Some of the comments also here, I think there's a question about best practice. We've answered to that one. Then will ICASA offer scholarships to attend the conference? There's an anonymous attendee who raised that question. What are the range of topics for abstract submissions? Again, you find all this, the various streams, you'll find them on the website. And then sharing of presentation requests, it has also been spoken to. I just want to come back while we still have some time again, colleagues. The colleague said the society, if you can please help us just to show the slides again there about the award that the 5,000 award that is being given in a prestigious honor recognizing innovation and progress in research only for young African female researchers. It's an award of $5,000. For more information, please visit the ICASA2025.saaafrica.org website. Please do visit that. For those who are asking about scholarships and others, if you qualify there, please do visit that. There's also the ICASA 2025 storytelling video competition. Are you interested in fighting stigma? Here's your chance to share your story, inspire change, and win up to $3,000 for first prize and $2,000 for second prize. It's all in there, in the slides that are being shown. So I think unless there are any further questions, I really wanted to leave some of the more technical issues and questions that might need the colleagues like Emmanuel, I think, who are dealing with the technical aspects. Someone was asking about abstract form. I think it was Gloria Obong. That question, I don't know if you saw it, Emmanuel. There was a question with regards to that particular issue. She wasn't sure whether she'd be able to submit and affix an abstract form. I didn't quite get that.
I think before we get that, there are a few other questions that I could quickly take. One asked about references of book resources used in research. For abstracts, no, when you submit abstracts, you don't write references. When you're making your presentation, you could include references, but when you're submitting abstracts, there's no room for references. I think that's one. It says, another says, any abstract that has been submitted and accepted, but which was not presented, I'm wondering if we can update and be submitted to ICASA. As much as possible, once you're submitting abstracts, please don't submit abstracts you've presented somewhere. It's not ethically right for most parts. I think at ICASA also we don't encourage it. Please submit abstracts that are fresh. If you have not presented that abstract before, that you submitted before, and you want to update it, excellent, please go ahead and update it to follow.
Hello? Hello, Prof. We have some hands
yes,
up.
sir.
We have some hands up. Some hands are up. You have 4 hands up.
So that would be Dr. Munya, and that would be Dr. Munya to handle. Yes, I'm just answering the English questions. Okay. So yes, if you've updated the abstracts and it's new information, you've not shared it anywhere else, please feel free to submit to ICASA. Over to you, sir, Dr. Munya.
All right. Thank you, Professor Morenike, for that. And I think there were other questions that were also coming at the bottom there from Lesotho, and anonymous attendee has been posing a number of questions. I wanted to invite them to actually raise their hands and sorry, I'm actually. So colleagues, those who want to take the microphone, please do raise your questions. I don't see the hands.
We can see the hands from here.
Okay, can you please take the mic and pose your question, colleagues?
Wellington, are you there? Wellington is not there. Okay.
Then there was anonymous attendee. There was a number of questions that I think can be easily raised by speaking directly to the mic.
We have James Lule. James Lule, can you come in? James Lule, you have the floor. James, you have the floor. Can you unmute your microphone, James?
I think we have to unmute it for them.
It's unmuted. Hello? Wellington, are you there? James, you have the floor. Hello, James, can you hear us? James Lule, you have the floor. But, Mr. Chair, I think you can proceed with other question because they are not able to speak. I don't know why.
I'm not. Okay, I could hear somebody there. Who was that?
This Ojoy Gode.
Yes, please take the question.
Yes, thank you. And thanks to Professor Morenike and a colleague for that excellent presentation. I have just 2 questions. My name is Ojore Gode, by the way, from Nigeria. The first question is, the deadline for submission of abstract is May 30th, and that is still the deadline for registration. So I wanted to know when submitted abstracts would get, or when authors will be notified of whether the abstract will be accepted or otherwise, as some individuals may want to wait to get that feedback before commencing registration. Some persons want to rely on the feedback in determining whether to register or not. So that's first. The second is about the authorship of the abstracts. Do we have any policies that regulates the number of abstracts that be submitted that an individual could author or be a co-author? So if I have a first author in a particular abstract, can the second author or the third be a first author to a different abstract entirely? Do you have any policy implication on that? Thank you, Anuva.
Thank you, Ojori. Over to you, Luke. Then may I ask that you respond? I think the first question was that the abstract closing date is the end of May, and when would abstract submission, applicants be notified? The other one was, is there a limit to the number of abstracts that an applicant can submit?
Yeah, at ICASA, let me say, first of all, for the closing date of abstract and registration, the first registration, the closing date of the first registration is, let us say, is an early registration. And it's coincidentally with the closing of abstracts, But after that, registration continues because we have a normal registration and we have late registration. Then when you submit your abstract, you will have your notification maximum ending of August. Because we have the marathon meeting where we review the abstract before then, and we come to the marathon meeting to finalize the abstract management process, and maximum ending of August, you will receive notification about your abstract status. But saying that also, you can see that if you go to ICASA website, you will see some key dates. We have all the key dates there, and registration continues till the conference. Don't think that when they say close for registration, it means that the registration is closed when you are submitting your abstract. No, the registration is still open. We have 3 categories of registration. We have early registration, we have normal registration, and we have late registration. However, if you submit your abstract and your abstract has been successfully admitted, it means that you will have a possibility to pay for the early registration, not the normal registration, because the early registration is more cheaper and cost-effective than the other registration. Over to you, Mr. Chair. I think that I responded to your question.
Okay, thank you, Luke. I don't know if there are any hands you may be seeing also from your side there.
Yeah, we have.
There are 2 questions. There are 2 questions. I could quickly take them. One says, can you submit an abstract before you finish your data collection? Not likely, because you would not be able to write the result or lessons learned section. So you would be able to write a complete abstract only after you finish your data collection. If you send an abstract and say data will be presented later, you would lose the marks for that, and it's not likely your abstract to be able to go through. There was also another question that had to do with just a second. You asked something on community stuff. There is, please note that there are 2 types of abstract. You can present a qualitative or quantitative type of abstract that enables you share details about the results that you have done based on your projects or your or your research. But there is also acknowledging the place for community initiatives that also would have to share lessons learned. Please know that every single thing we've talked about also definitely matters, and the better you strengthen the presentation. Even when you're doing lessons learned, you can analyze it and form and report it as teams, rather than just telling stories, because it's less able to generate the marks that would get you in. So it matters. And even if it's a storytelling, there must be a way that you write it in a way that you are putting forth the key messages or the lessons learned. I think that, yes, ICASA does allow for submission of abstract that relates to community initiatives. Thank you very much. Over.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. There is one question that I did not respond to that before. It was the author and co-author. Yeah, you can be author of several abstracts. You know, we don't have any rule to abstract you on that. And only the first author is a presenter generally, because the co-author, it depends the way you do it. But you can be author, first author here, or co-author here, and be first author to another abstract. That's not a problem. You know, however, generally is the first author that we call for presentation if it's the best abstract. Over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Hello.
You. Look, Anonymous, you raised a question. I think it was to do with $5,000 female, whatnot. I'm not too sure if you saw what we were sharing earlier on. The Edith Lucy Bongo Odimba Award. It's a prestigious honor recognizing innovation and progress in research, only for young African female researchers. That information is available on the ICASA website. Colleagues, I'm seeing a number of questions that are also being raised regarding the various streams and various other information. Please do make time to acquaint yourself with the ICASA website. And all the information you'll find is there on the ICASA 2025 website, on the Society for AIDS in Africa website. Are there any further questions that you, any raised hands, colleagues, from your end?
Hello. I'm
Yes,
Emmanuel. I have my
Yes,
hands.
Yes, Emmanuel, come through.
Thank you very much, panelists, for this opportunity. Thank you, panelists, for this opportunity to speak. Well, I have just a few comments and contributions to make to some of the submissions that had been made earlier. The place of allowing individuals who are submitting abstracts to have people within their communities or clients to take a look at their abstract prior to submission to platform like ICASA and other platforms will go a long way in shedding some of the burdens that reviewers actually go through. The place of going through the templates or the guidelines of submission or formatting for the abstract, either from ICASA or other platforms, is also very, very important, so that when rejections are made to abstract, people will not actually feel bad to the extent that they will be having the fear of submitting further abstracts at other platforms or even on ICASA platform. I want to share a personal experience. I submitted an abstract and it was reviewed, and the feedback that I got from that particular review gave me a platform to present the same abstract at a later timing at the United States of America. So I want to share this to us, that when reviewers give feedbacks to abstract, we should take it with a good spirit, because it may be the launching pad to greater heights. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much there for your exhortation there. And any further comments, Professor Veronica?
Okay, please, I want to quickly ask, it's just, I'm going to divert a bit. I was wondering, I'm trying to find, I have a little issue. In the area where we have the author, I tried, it's still marked X, whereas the other aspect has ticked, I've checked right. So I'm still wondering why am I still checked wrong? Because I have my author's name, the author, the name, the affiliates. It keeps telling me wrong affiliates. I wouldn't really know where or how.
Thank you there. I think is it Gloria from what I see?
Yeah, it's Gloria.
Yes, it's Gloria on the call.
The technical colleagues there.
Yeah, let me respond to that. What we have to do, Gloria, please, can you direct that one to abstract@southafrica.org so that we can take it personally and see what is going on? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any further hands? I see there's a hand up there. Look, are you able to see who it is?
Yeah, we can see Ida Noki.
Ida Noki, you have the floor.
Yeah.
Bonjour. Merci beaucoup pour la parole. Vous m'entendez?
Oui, on vous reçoit très bien. Le professeur Seni aussi est là, il vous reçoit.
Oui.
Ok, merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. J'ai vraiment une préoccupation parce que lors de la présentation, vous avez dit que les pays francophones ont beaucoup de lacunes par rapport aux pays anglophones. Mais nous qui sommes de pays francophones, moi personnellement, je cherche un mentor qui peut m'encadrer pour pouvoir, parce que je suis pédiatre de terrain, je travaille avec les ONG, et avec mon expérience de terrain, j'ai envie d'écrire. Il y a beaucoup de choses qu'on voit, on veut écrire, sauf qu'on n'a pas de personnes pour nous encadrer. C'est comme ça que je me dis, non pas seulement pour cette présentation ici, mais on a besoin de préparer au fait nos présentations parce que là maintenant on va faire à la hâte, on veut faire alors que ce sont des choses qui se font chaque année annuellement, mais on a vraiment besoin d'être préparé, encadré, initié et au finish présenter nos résumés, faire de résumés parce que c'est un article qu'on va écrire et puis on fait des résumés. Alors personnellement j'ai besoin d'un mentor. Est-ce qu'on peut avoir des mentors qui vont nous encadrer? Nous qui sommes sur le terrain, parce que je fais Burkina Faso, je suis allée en Centrafrique, où pour moi c'était vraiment catastrophique parce que je vis le VIH là-bas chez l'enfant. J'ai envie d'écrire, mais je me dis j'ai besoin de mentors pour nous encadrer. Qu'est-ce que vous dites?
Merci beaucoup. Maybe either Luke or Professor Sen, I don't know whoever is.
That's Professor Seni.
No, Luke first. Luke first.
Okay,
Luke
Prof. Prof, it's hand over to me. Okay, Prof. Oui, nous avons le mentorat. Nous avons établi le mentorat depuis cet ICASA. On a commencé ça depuis, je pense, mars. Depuis mars, avril, mai. Maintenant, on a fait le mentorat ici. Mais si vous n'avez pas pu vous inscrire au mentorat, vous devez être prêt pour la prochaine session du mentorat. Parce qu'après ICASA 2025, on va encore lancer une session du mentorat l'année prochaine à partir de mars. Donc, inscrivez-vous et faites partie de cette session de mentorat-là parce que c'est généralement sur 3 mois. Parce qu'on a des mentors qui vont vous aider à écrire les meilleurs abstracts. Mais pour le moment, il faut suivre tout ce qui se passe, les activités que nous avons à la Société africaine anti-sida. Le website est là, c'est www.saa.org. Si vous allez dessus, vous allez voir le mentorat qu'on a développé. On a commencé cette session depuis mars, comme j'ai dit. Et on va reprendre encore la même session avec le support du professeur Seni, qui est le secrétaire, qui est ancien secrétaire général de la Société africaine anti-sida et qui est un membre de ce concept de mentorat-là et qui va piloter ce mentorat avec nous, mais ce serait pour l'année prochaine. Prenez la date et fixez-la et attendez-nous pour mars 2026 pour la prochaine session du mentorship de la Société africaine anti-sida. Allô, professeur? Oui, Seni, are you there?
Oui, je suis là. Non, c'est juste, il y a un programme de mentorat donc pour la SA. Il faudrait que vous vous inscrivez. Maintenant, bon, si en temps vous avez des besoins spécifiques que je peux être utile, il faut écrire à M. Luc qui peut me contacter. Je peux regarder ce que vous avez fait.
Merci, professeur.
OK.
Thank you. Do we have any further hands up there? I see there are also comments coming that have come through, but I wanted to give preference to raised hands, just to give people voice if there are anyone to speak. Any hands there, Luke?
Yes,
Yeah,
good afternoon, and thank you very much for this important webinar that prepares would-be submitters of the abstract for this important conference. I would want to congratulate all the speakers, but then I noted also with appreciation the first speaker, which was alluded by the moderator, that the person was able to present within 15 minutes. What does that signify? It shows that in scientific presentation, particularly in conferences, one is giving time to present, particularly in the oral presentation, which I think needs to be highlighted here. Some people already submitted some abstract, and then we are thinking that it will be accepted. I, for one, last year, was it in Zimbabwe or Mozambique? Yeah, the Zimbabwe one, I had to present, even though it was poster, but online. But then I have presented oral presentation where when you present and your time is up, your mic got muted. and then all you are talking, no one hears these things. So this is very important, and I think it needs some elaboration. Otherwise, this was just welcoming. Thank you.
Thank you. Luke, I see you nodding your head there. May you have a comment on that?
No comment, because the conclusion was very right, because the time frame is very, very important for abstract presenter. When you have 15 minutes, you need to organize yourself to deliver in 15 minutes. You go directly to the point, as the Professor Monica has said, and the Professor Senior also said in French. The time frame is key, please, because if you don't follow the time frame, then we have an issue by eating the time of the other speakers, and the program, instead of being 45 minutes, we end up being 1 hour sometimes, and it's not so good on the other program, Then let me again congratulate you, because you have presented for the PASICASA, both online and in person. Then it means that you know that 15 minutes we give is 15 minutes. We cannot do more than that, because the program is packed, and every speaker has a right, to present their research. Thank you, sir, for that question. Really appreciate it. Over to you.
Thank you. Professor Morenike, are you still in the room?
I am, but I also think what we're hearing is that we must keep to time. So I'm not sure if the other speakers can please be very brief, if they keep whatever they would like to share to a minute, not even a minute, 30 seconds, and we're already, we're speeding time.
Okay.
Thank you.
There are some other comments there. I'll just read them out and ask you, Professor Morenike, to respond. Are we allowed to submit an abstract to ICASA and another conference, for example, SAHIV clinicians, with a deadline on the 15th of May?
I think you've asked a question that my assumption is that you're asking if we're submitting the same abstract to 2 conferences. I think that would not be ethically right to do. You submit different abstracts to different conferences, even though when there's a time overlap. If there's no time overlap, if there's a rejection of an abstract in one conference, you can represent it at another conference. And just like somebody earlier noted, if it was rejected even in ICASA conference before, if you have strengthened it, you can represent. But please note that submitting the same abstract to 2 conferences is not tactically acceptable, or submitting an abstract that has been presented somewhere to another conference is not. Please look at the rules. There are some conferences that will welcome it, whether you've presented it before or not, or whether it's been published or not, they welcome it. But for most parts, per the rule of abstract presentation, you shouldn't be presenting an abstract we presented before, or you shouldn't be presenting the abstract of a work that has already been published. Thank you very much. Over.
Thank you, Professor Morenike. The next question is, can an author and a co-author get access to the conference? The abstract get accepted? I think there's something missing there. I would imagine if you are registered, but over to you, Professor Morenike.
Yes, I think I also very well then, Dr. Muya, I'm also assuming that what this person might be implying is that if they get the abstract submitted, do they get the scholarship access? That is my assumption. I think getting abstract submitted and scholarship assessment are 2 independent things. But Mr. Luke will answer. However, I think getting your abstracts accepted strengthens the prospect of getting a scholarship, but it does not mean it's automatic. Having said that, it would only be the presenter that will be considered for scholarship, not the co-presenter. But I'll defer to Mr. Bodia to be able to answer that appropriately. Thank you once again.
No, I think he did say they contract the first author usually, but speak under correction. Over to you, Luke.
Well, Morenike, you are right. As a first author, we always invite the first author. And if your abstract is accepted as an oral abstract, we give you full scholarship. However, if your abstract is accepted as a poster abstract, is not, we don't give scholarship for that. However, you have the opportunity also to present online, because you have to remember that ICASA now is an hybrid meeting, both in person and a virtual meeting. Then, there is no problem for that. However, if you have you have your abstract has been accepted, fully accepted as an oral abstract, it means that the conference is giving you full scholarship. Over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Luke. If Elua Adelaide is asking, she's checked the scholarship page but unable to see the eligibility criteria, and just wanted to know if an ICT student can apply. I mean, I would imagine any student, anyone can apply, but why they are not able to see the eligibility criteria, I'm not too sure. Anybody able to speak to that? It would be just a question of
Mr. Chair, everybody is eligible to be part of ICASA. ICASA is for all of us, not only for scientists. No, as Professor Morenike was saying, the community part of ICASA is huge, you know, and every person has a right to apply for scholarship. I'm thinking that we will send the scholarship criteria to the group now. It's on the website. If you check very well, you will see it. You can go you can Google it and you will also see it on Google. It's there.
It has just been.
Now you can see, we send it now.
Sorry,
via the chat. It's on the chat.
Luke.
Yes, sir.
Look, you forgot francophone people. Can you summarize for them?
Ah, thank you, sir. Oui, pour les francophones, on disait que à ICASA, si votre résumé a été accepté comme le meilleur des résumés ou bien comme un résumé pour l'oral, c'est que vous avez automatiquement la bourse. Vous avez la bourse, vous avez l'hébergement, vous avez le billet, le transport et vous avez aussi, oui, je pense que c'est ça, vous avez aussi un per diem. Donc ça, c'est automatique pour tout ce qui est résumé oral accepté à la conférence ICASA. Mais par contre, si votre abstract ou votre résumé a été accepté comme un poster, vous n'avez pas de bourse. Voilà, vous n'avez pas de bourse. Mais par contre, ce qui est intéressant, c'est que vous pouvez aussi rester chez vous et participer à la conférence parce qu'aujourd'hui, la conférence, ce n'est pas seulement une conférence en personne, mais c'est aussi une conférence virtuelle. Donc, ICASA, c'est aussi bien une conférence hybride en présentiel et puis en virtuel. Donc, si vous avez l'opportunité de venir, vous venez. Mais si vous pensez que rester dans votre office ou bien dans le confort de votre maison, vous pouvez présenter, ça ne gêne pas. Vous avez les possibilités de le faire de manière virtuelle. Et je disais aussi que pour les présentations, généralement, les bourses sont données à l'auteur principal. Allô, professeur Seni, over to you.
Non, c'était bon. C'était pour que tu résumes.
D'accord, merci.
All right. So, Professor Sen, I suppose you are done from your side?
Yeah, it's fine on my side.
Okay. So, colleagues, I think, you know, we have gone over our time, and but I think it was well worth it given the comments and questions that have been coming through. From my side is to thank the Society for Eastern Africa Secretariat team that is working behind the scenes and doing all these arrangements. And of course, to speak to the presenters, Professor Morenike and Professor Seni, and also to thank Luke and team there. Just I will remind again, remember this is the research award that is being given in honor of Madam Edith Lucy Bongo Odimba to African female researchers for $5,000 US. The details have been shared there. I'm sure you'll also find it on the website of ICASA and Society for Eastern Africa, as well as the ICASA 2025 storytelling video competition. If you are interested in fighting stigma, there's a first prize and a second prize there. The criteria and what to submit are all given there. Mine is just to thank you, colleagues, for making the time, for the huge interest that has come through, and I think for the enlightening conversations, insights that we've shared. And let's continue to keep the conversations going. We're looking forward to your abstracts and to meeting you at the ICASA 2025 conference in Accra, in Ghana. So thank you very much. Over back to you, Luke and Tim. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci, professeur Seni. Merci, professeur Morenike.
Merci beaucoup, Luc.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dr. Muya, for the excellent facilitation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you all. See you soon in Ghana in December. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Bye.
Aquaba.